This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning again, everybody.
Good morning.
We're going to begin our meeting for this this month. Do we have any volunteers on the prayer?
I do.
Okay.
Bow your head. Father God, we come to you this morning just to tell you thank you. We can't tell you thank you enough, Father God. Just continue to bless everyone on the sound of my weak voice and also bless all the citizens in Dooley County, Father God. We all want what's best for the citizens of Dooley and just continue to lead us in the right direction. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's all stand and join in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Mr. Chairman, I need to apologize for everybody. I failed to email out the agenda package to everybody.
He's going to be it anyway.
Oh, mine mailed to me.
But he got his, because I did get his in the mail to him.
Oh.
So I don't know if you want to approve the minutes of last meeting today or wait till the next meeting to do that, since I didn't get them out in front.
Okay, we can wait till the next. Yeah. Okay. All right. With that in mind, we have a proposed agenda before you. What's the pleasure of the board? Or the addition? I guess I would talk about the boy basketball team, and how, just to add that on, just do a proclamation for them, and I might have an appointee for that seat. So, if y'all gonna agree, I want to add that to the agenda. Dave, anything?
No, sir.
Tim?
No, sir.
No, sir. Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the agenda. Second.
It has been motion and second. All in favor of it by the show of hand? Okay, that is unanimous. Okay, so that part of the motion we don't have to come up with, since we don't have the old man. So we'll skip that part. And Mr. Steve is in your hand now.
Okay, you should have the financial report for the month of February. Take it, look at it, got any questions, we'll be glad to try to answer them.
Well, before we look at it, we're doing pretty good with it.
We seem to be on track as usual. Of course, we're usually pretty sound cash wise. But it's going to start dropping off the rest of the year till taxes come back in next year. But as of right now, everything looks to be in order.
So the money flowing in pretty good from the taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Item number 3, just a reminder, we got an open position on the Dooley County Board of Health. Keep that on the agenda until somebody comes up with a nominee.
That was it. I mean, I talked with Harper about it. Minnie Harper. Asked her would she, since she's on another board, I asked her would she be interested in, and she said that she would. I think because she asked me about it, what do you do and all that kind of stuff. I told her.
Okay, now when I talked to her, I thought she was calling about the item number 5 on the position on the Middle Flint Behavioral Health Care Community Service
so that's
board.
2 different.
That's two separate boards.
Okay, well, I don't have nobody for that one then.
Because all right, now Miss Harper, back to the Board of Health, didn't her daughter the nurse
exactly.
over there? So I don't think
I
don't think that would be a good idea for her to serve on that board with her daughter being employed there. So
right.
I sent Miss Harper the information about who to contact with the Middle Flint Behavioral Health Care to inquire about what all were the responsibilities of that board.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anything back from her. So.
All right. Okay. So forget about that one then.
Right, so
just somebody come up with a nominee.
So as right now, we still don't have a nominee for the Board of Health. Okay. So we'll leave that on the agenda. And morning, Bert.
Good morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Would have been here just a minute sooner, but I saw a sign on the way.
Had to take a picture. It said slow death in progress. Think about the funeral, the family, but it said slow death in progress. And I wanted to see what that looked like.
You're looking at it.
Dave, you spoke out of order. Me, if you start messing in this morning, I heard.
You ain't gonna go into no mess.
Yeah.
I won't.
Okay.
All right. We're item number 4 on the agenda, the opioid lawsuit. Is there anything anything worthwhile you had to contribute to that?
No, it fits under the previous topic.
Okay, all right, so we'll just keep that on. Then item number 5, we still have a vacancy on the Middle Flint Behavioral Health Care Community Service Board. So
That was the one that I have a nominee. Just left it to the board whether they want to accept it or not, or we can continue looking for somebody else.
Did she talk and find out enough information about it?
Yeah, she called me and said I think she listened in on one of the meetings. Something she told me. She said she would be interested in serving on it. Mm-hmm. So,
Man, you ain't getting no
Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry. My name is Angela Holt. I'm the CEO of Middle Flint Behavioral Health Care. I spoke with Miss Minnie Harper. She's scheduled to listen in on our board meeting this afternoon
okay.
to get more information about what the responsibilities are for a board member. So she's scheduled to attend that this afternoon at 4:30.
So we might need to hold off then until. Okay then.
Thank you.
All right. I know she had said something to me about that. I didn't know. She said.
She tell us what they do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Would you mind coming up and just giving a refresher about
Yeah.
exactly services y'all offer?
Sure.
Have a seat.
Okay, again, my name is Angela Holt. I'm the CEO at Middle Flint Behavioral Health Care. Dooley County is one of the 11 counties that we provide services to. We provide behavioral health, which includes mental health and addictive disease services. We provide IDD, which is intellectual development disability services. We provide them in the ranges of providing residential support, case management and community support. We have outpatient clinics in 4 of our counties. We provide physician services, therapy services, hospital liaison. We are working on reopening a crisis stabilization unit to have crisis stabilization services, day services, just a plethora of services that we offer. From the point of diagnosis, we even have court services where we support those in accountability court, where judges may decide that the person is most in need of services instead of being jailed. So we have accountability support services in that way. Just a lot of different services. Any specific questions I can answer? I spoke with Miss Minnie Harper, and because of course she wanted to know what would her role be on the board. Our board is a governing board, so a governing board approves policies, approves budgets, oversees how we spend our funding, where and how we provide those services, things of that nature. So she was very interested and wanted to kind of sit in. So we offer that, and right now we're doing virtual meetings. So she will be able to sit in virtually in our meeting this afternoon, so she can hopefully help make a decision. Dooley County gets 2 board members because of the size and the population of the county on our board. So Miss Betty Lamb is currently on the board, so we're still looking for a second member. Any other questions?
So you say Miss Betty. So she'll be only one.
Miss Betty is currently a board member.
Oh, you saying she currently? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So if
All right.
Miss
Okay, I
Harper
got you.
decides, then
All
that'll be the 2.
All right. Okay.
Question. I have a question for Mike.
Mhm.
there's court services. Do you offer those services to other courts in the system, in the service area, or just accountability courts?
Well, any court. We usually we work out a memorandum of understanding or agreement on what type of services or what kind of liaison they would like for us to do. But anyone, especially any of our active clients that are jailed, we're responsible for being a part of that liaison process to transition them back into the community. So that's a long way to answer yes. We will work with any court.
Okay. And the reason I bring this up
Mhm.
is I'm a judge in a bunch of the courts in your area.
Okay.
And I've been reaching out on my own to
Mhm.
Albany
Okay.
and just found out that we could use your services.
Yes.
And Mr. Hill, Blake Hill, is involved, and he was told by the people in Albany that he should use your services.
Okay.
And he had never dawned on him, although he works for the accountability court, that maybe he could use your services.
Yes. Yes.
And we have someone who's going for an interview this morning with Miss Alyssa.
Yes. I've seen her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been trying to get her in there for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday's the first time we found out that your place was available.
Absolutely.
Because there's no communication that
Yes.
your services exist.
Yes.
Now, your services exist. I now know about it, and my sister is a judge in that circuit. I will then make them aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to partner with you
Absolutely.
to get this message out there that you have court services available,
Mhm.
because I'm having to go outside to Doherty County and use their
And that's
system.
not necessary because
Right.
we have it right here.
And
Mhm.
just as even the people that are supposed to know don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're absolutely right.
we got to get that message across.
Absolutely.
If the
I
probation
really-
director and the judge don't know, then the clients aren't going to know.
And the county commissions don't know. You
Right.
know, I just met with a Peach County commissioner yesterday talking about the same thing. There's a plethora of services. There are all sorts of resources for behavioral health, mental health, addictive disease, but no one knows, and they don't even know about each other.
Correct.
So
I will be glad to help you start that conversation with
Absolutely.
people on my level and in my sphere of influence. If you'll give me your name, Ms. Holt.
Angela Holt, I will give you my business card.
Okay.
So you can have my contact information.
Thank you.
Okay?
And I will follow up today.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And if you leave one for us as well.
I sure will. Any other questions? I'm so glad I came this
Thank
morning.
you. Yes.
you.
Yes.
You.
Okay. Item number 6, if we have time at the end of the meeting, I got a brief little worksheet for us to start trying to get a little bit more familiar with the salary study information, but I won't do it right at this point in time. We'll come back to it. Item number 7 has been on the agenda. We got a drainage structure issue on Jalapa Road, and currently I got our engineer coming up with some ballpark cost estimates of the different options we have.
You know, I've been getting some calls. Yeah, and I told them we were working on it. That's all I could tell them.
But
I couldn't tell them anything else.
And I can understand. I totally understand there, especially when on the surface it looks like nothing's wrong with the road. But I will show it just so y'all maybe have a little bit better idea of why we closed the road to traffic. Okay, that's the general location of the road.
Mm-hmm.
This is Byronville going 230 back to Unadilla. Jalapa Road cuts over and goes into Dooley. That's the general location of where we're talking about.
That looks safe.
Yeah, I mean, the pavement from the top, didn't see anything wrong with it, but, you know, I didn't want the county to have the liability of folks driving across that and that thing caving in, so that's why the road's closed.
Especially that heavy stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I mean, but sometimes it helps to have a picture to try to explain things to you. So that's the reason for the closure.
Yeah, they've been calling. I mean, man, I got to go out the way. I ain't got no other kind. What about the emergency vehicle? You're going to need the emergency vehicle. You go across it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all kind of
So anyway, that's
stuff, man.
that's the reason the road's closed.
Yeah.
So
Has he got an estimate on that yet?
That's what the engineer is supposed to be working on. And basically, anyway, we're waiting on the engineer to give us an estimate.
Can you back up to the other picture you should have showed?
Yes.
To you?
Yes.
Not that, but the one before that. Keep going back. Okay. They all came from that, all that water we got.
Well, and then these were metal pipes that
Yeah.
got rusted out. So but evidently there is quite a bit of water that can come through there when in times of heavy rains.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Well, was a pipe there already?
there's like 3 pipe there, I think.
Okay. Look like he's making his own.
Yeah. It's yeah, all that water draining down here, then it turned. Got to have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have recommendation from the engineer at the next meeting on that. Just for information, the county, we're seeking applicants for a finance director, a motor grader operator, an excavator operator, an equipment operator, and a tax appraiser 1. Number 9, just a reminder, information, the River Valley Regional Commission is scheduled their annual legislative luncheon for 10:30 Wednesday, May the 24th in Americus. And then at 9:30, which is not quite 9:30, we'll have a public hearing on 4 rezoning requests that went before the Planning Commission Monday night. And we got a recommendation from the Planning Commission. We'll consider it at 9:30 this morning.
Was the variance from request number 1 from the last meeting approved?
Yes. And just to remind y'all, variances, the county commissioners have given the Planning Commission the authority to be the final say on variance requests. But as far as rezoning requests, those all have to go to Planning Commission first, and then the Planning Commission reviews them and makes a recommendation to the county commissioner. So that's why at Monday's meeting, the Planning Commission had 5 items to consider. One of them was a variance, 4 of them were rezoning. They approved the variance request, and it does not need to come before the county commissioners, and that's why there's 4 matters coming before the commissioners today. Spring Hill Road. Trying to how the best way to proceed with this.
State gave us a whole bunch of money to fix it, right?
Yes, sir. This is the road out. Let me get a map up here and show you where it is on the map first, and then we'll go dive in a little bit further. Center roads. Road maps. Maps. Okay, let's get over here to this one here. Okay, if you're at Vienna and you go out Highway 215 to get to the intersection of Highway 215 and 257, that's where the new 4-way stop is out there on the state route. Then come up here, and the map still this road used to be called Rock Hill Road, but we recently renamed, several years back, we renamed it the Spring Hill Road. So that's the road we're talking about that got resurfaced a few years back. And right after it got resurfaced, Wilcox County replaced a bridge. The part of the road we're talking about runs from Highway 257 to Tippettville Road. It's a paved road. Right after we had resurfaced it, Wilcox County replaced a bridge on out what we call Tippettville Road that resulted in, when that road got closed, all that traffic detoured back on Spring Hill Road. And I'm not saying the traffic's what caused the issue, but right after the traffic hit it, the road just started falling apart. And that's hard for me to envision a paved road falling apart. So to help you understand, now this is, I'm starting on the Tippettville Road side. And a short section, this is closed, but we didn't close it all the way because there's a church right down, Spring Hill Church is right down here on the left. So the church folks can still get around this sign, but we're letting folks know, hey, it's not a through road. And you can actually see right here, you see these little cracks starting to develop. And they call that alligator cracking. That's a sign of pavement failure somewhere under there. But anyway, it's just.
I'm in the car, right?
Yeah. You're gonna go for a ride with me.
Yeah.
Go fast.
Well, no, I can't get. And you see, there's a lot of alligator cracking there. That's not the bad spots.
Can't wait to see the bad.
No, you just wait.
I'm getting car seat.
Close your eyes.
This was a bad spot that the road department just recently went out there and kind of smoothed back over to help the church folks get over.
Need to pray about that.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
No, it gets worse.
If you were riding a motorcycle at night down this road,
Won't make it.
you wouldn't make it off the road.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's good.
I kind of feel like I'm back in the Dukes of Hazzard days for some reason. Going past the barriers, the bridges out, going faster. Yeah, there we go.
Pick up some speed.
All right, the church entrance to the church is right up here on the left. That's the driveway to the church. So then we really tried to really barricade the road past that because there's really no need, but still left it open because there are some folks that need to have access to their property back there, but trying to discourage traffic on it. And let me see if I can fast forward. We just missed a spot there. Them spots.
How long has this road been out?
We've closed it for 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Does the lack of traffic add to some of the deterioration?
No, the lack of traffic is actually helping to
Preserve it.
I want to get into some of the bad. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, y'all ain't seen nothing
Yeah,
yet.
still not worse.
I think they've been logging or something.
They have.
did load.
They have.
Okay, now you took my theory away. That comes from weight right there.
But see, there's all those semi trucks that go down Tippettville. They were detouring off when that bridge was closed and coming down this road.
Yeah.
Wait.
But that's not the worst spot there, but
It's not.
it's a bad spot.
But then they didn't have a sign on the road saying, what the weight limit for the trucks.
We didn't know they were detouring. We didn't know the state was detouring them down this road. We didn't know Wilcox County was closing that bridge.
They tore the road up. I forgot on the thing. Yeah.
Wasn't there some discussion by Commissioner Kaysen about that a while back, about the state's responsibility, the possibility he was working on with the DOT or thinking about we should approach the DOT?
We met.
I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
I want to try to get y'all get to the bad. Y'all hadn't seen the bad spots yet.
Mm.
Mm.
But that's why I took this video. I mean, telling you about it is one thing, but actually seeing it, and these pictures ain't really doing good justice to just how bad it is. But rather than loading all y'all up and taking y'all out there, I figured I'd at least do this.
Yeah, I would have had to ride with you because my little deal would have ran out in front of me again. Tore up a truck.
Well, you saying that Rodney was out there yesterday, and on this section that's closed, somebody had hit and killed a deer side the road.
So some people are still
Deer hunting.
riding it.
Coming up to what I think is the worst spot. Get to it.
Mm. Boom.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hey,
all that gone.
That's
right there.
washed out.
Yeah, that is dangerous, yeah. I mean, that's what we need to sign that down
Mm.
there. Tell that you're
So-
on the risk.
We got our county engineer, I think 2 years ago, he wrote us up a report on it. And basically, he's saying the only way, now there's no way you can go in there and just there's no need to just patch these bad spots because you see all this other alligator cracking. Once you put traffic back on it, they're going to turn into just as bad as these spots
That's right.
right here. Is that basically you got to go through there and to fix it correctly. He's saying it's what they call full depth reclamation. They would come in there with a big grinding machine and just grind all the pavement up and then put some cement, mix some cement in the dirt and then come back and repave the whole road. And 2 years ago, he estimated that cost to be $1.3 million.
Goodness.
How many miles is that?
Right at 2 miles. So Commissioner Kaysen had gotten
1.3, and that's what about $600,000 a mile?
Commissioner Kaysen had gotten our DOT board member at the time was Mr. Johnny Floyd out of Cordell. He got him and wrote him out there to look at it. Mr. Floyd happened to catch the state DOT commissioner in the area, rode him down it. And at the time, the DOT commissioner said he'd get a DOT engineer to look at it and make a recommendation, and that there might be the state could assist with funding. Well, that was 2 years, and then I don't know how much COVID played in that, but nothing ever materialized, ever moved forward. I finally contacted DOT earlier since our last board meeting. And Commissioner Mixon and myself and Rodney and our engineer met with 3 DOT guys out there to look at it. And they're supposed to be writing up a report of what their recommendation to fix the road is. Unfortunately, none of the DOT folks that met with us have check writing authority, so all they can do is just write them. But they did give me the name, do have the name of the people with the money. We got to wait for DOT to prepare their estimate, their report. Then we're going to ask DOT for some help funding it and see where it goes. So I just wanted to sort of, like I said, this kind of fell through the cracks or got pushed to the side, but we need to address it. Ignored is not going to fix the problem.
No.
So anyway.
Well, can we get part of the adjoining county DOT one? And they don't want to tow the road up. Well, okay then.
Anyway, I knew that took a few minutes, but I just thought it was worthwhile to sort of give everybody an update on that. And this is in your Commissioner Mixon's district, so. But Mr. Floyd, his term on the DOT board is expiring this month or next month. I can't remember which one now,
End
but
of April.
I think it's the end of April. So we're losing that connection to DOT, and I understand the new board member for our district is from South Georgia. And just to remind, it's confusing. The DOT board, their districts are the same as the U.S. House of Representative districts. So we're in, Mr. Bishop, and we're in Sanford Bishop's congressional district. So that's also our DOT district. So it's a rather large district. It goes all the way down to the Florida line and all the way over to the Alabama line. So we were fortunate to have Mr. Johnny represent that district, being our neighbor. But now politics got involved and it got somebody from South Georgia got chosen. So anyway, okay, it's 9:30 now. We had a public hearing advertising scheduled for some rezoning requests. Is anybody here to comment on the rezoning request before the board? I didn't really expect any. I understand the planning commission didn't have anybody show up at their meeting either Monday night. So all four of these requests, oh, let me get back, I'm sorry. Go back, it's on number 10. All four of these requests are from either Danny West or his son Bruce West for 4 parcels up right north of Dooling. They're requesting, the parcels are all currently zoned in that wildlife protection zone, and they're requesting they be zoned agricultural. And the county commissioners and the planning commission have even had some discussions. We're in the process of going through our zoning ordinance, and we're probably going to change all the parcels that are currently in that wildlife preserve to all of them to ag anyway, but they want to go ahead and do these 4 now. Nobody showed up at the public hearing Monday night at the planning commission. The planning commission voted unanimously to recommend that these rezoning requests be approved. So now that's planning commission's recommendation to y'all. So now it's up to y'all to make a decision on these. And we can do them individual or we can do them all 4 at one time.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I move, Mr. Chairman, that we accept the planning commissioner's recommendation to just do all 4 of them.
And rezone all 4 requests to ag.
To ag.
Okay.
Second.
There's been motion and second. All in favor by the show of hands. And that motion carries.
And also at the meeting, at the planning commission meeting, I've been told they currently, the members get paid $25 a meeting. They voted to ask the commissioners to increase that to $35 a meeting. So
We got it now in our budget. We can afford $10. So we need a vote on that.
you can vote on it, table it, or
I so moved. They needed it. They got to pay gas to come. I so moved that we.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. There's been motion and second. All in favor by the show of hands. And that carries.
to raise their compensation from $25 a meeting to $35 a meeting.
That's right.
And if they don't attend, they don't get paid. Okay. All right.
There's 10 members,
9.
9 members. They meet 10 times a year. That's basically $900 a year.
So this is effective immediately.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with everything going up, with gas going up, that ain't bad. $10, $900.
We want them here, so
Yeah.
that'll help.
Okay. Spring Hill. Okay. Let me get back to it. We talked about Spring Hill. The Unadilla EMS station. Brandon, come up if you would. Currently, the Unadilla EMS station is housed in the old Unadilla High School building. There's some issues with that, with their location there, and the county had been looking for alternate locations. We acquired a house in Unadilla right on Highway 41. It's located at 2900 Pine Street. At one time, it was Dr. Hopkins' doctor's office. We've acquired it. Brandon and them been doing up there doing some cleaning up and looking at the house. The house needs some work done before we move the EMS into it. Hold on a second here. It's a question of how much do we want to do at a very minimum. Hold on a second here. Let me get something else going here to help y'all. or maybe help. I don't know if it's gonna help or not, but this is the house. One thing, we're gonna be making 2 of the rooms bedrooms for the EMTs. And, all right, this is inside the city of Unadilla, so Unadilla's building inspector has to say on what has to be done to the building. And Gary Houston is the inspector for the city of Unadilla. He's looked at it. The exterior windows, at least for the 2 bedrooms, have to be replaced because to allow emergency exits, those windows don't meet code for, they call them ingress, egress windows. So at a minimum, the 2 bedrooms windows would have to be replaced. There would need to be a handicap ramp out the front door. I think one of the restrooms, there's 2 bathrooms currently in the building. One of the restrooms would have to have a handicap toilet installed in it to make it meet that. And a 36-inch, a wider door put in on one of the restrooms to comply. And then smoke detectors and exit light and emergency lights. That's a minimum for as far as the inspector has to be involved. There is some, I didn't video inside. I wished I had, but I didn't think about it at the time. In the kitchen, there's a bad spot in the floor.
Yes.
That's going to have to be addressed. Don't know exactly the extent of that, but
The whole section, once we took the linoleum up,
okay.
there's a hole this big in it already.
And that's from
Previous water damage from a busted pipe, from what it appears to be. That has been fixed, but they never addressed it when the pipe busted.
okay.
However long that's been.
And just because the question is, how much do we want to do? I know we've had a termite inspection.
Yes. They
In
found one location, and that was it. And it was on the backside of the planter right there, which he said is common for them planter boxes.
But nothing active.
Nothing active.
So one of my questions, as far as the windows, do you just want to replace the windows in the bedroom or replace all of them? Those are not very energy efficient windows, but
At all.
We need to get a prize to see what it costs to do all of them.
well, that's what I want to try. What do y'all want to get prices on? We're not going to be doing it. Just what all do y'all want to get prices on?
How many windows are there? 1, 2,
Roughly
3,
20.
We don't, we'll be back.
Well, I'd like to get a price on whatever we decide to do of the whole project. We know what we spent on the house. I didn't realize we had to do all this stuff to it. But then price out, is it better to just build a metal building? Where are we gonna come out better? Is this gonna be a $250,000 house when we're done with it? Or,
I hope not.
well, I know, but
Man,
we're talking roof.
Well, I think the roof will need to be addressed at some point. It doesn't necessarily have to be done right now.
Electrical.
All right, I talked to Gary Houston about that. He said if you're not going to be doing any major changes to the electrical, he wouldn't require totally rewired.
There's 3 bedrooms that's already been rewired. With three wire plugs in it.
But he said now if we were going to be doing any substantial changes to the electrical, then yes, he would require the whole thing to be rewired. But if we weren't going to be making any major changes to the electrical, he wouldn't require it be totally rewired.
Do EMS EMS's preferences or requirements for the equipment they plug up, is that going to put us into having to totally rewire this?
Like I said, the 3 back bedrooms
Is that sufficient for their equipment?
should be. That's a Don question.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer for him.
But even with that, that ain't gonna take.
But we'll get bids for totally rewiring it.
You got central heat and air we got to put in.
Yes.
Oh, that got to go in there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's already broken.
Where there was only a furnace.
They had like a furnace, heat, and the ductwork in that house. It's got ductwork in the floor. I mean, in the crawl space and in the attic. And I'm not sure who put that in, but the duct system's pretty bad. And the unit ain't working no ways.
In the second bathroom, you have to add a shower.
A shower. And then one of the bathrooms has a tub that's got a makeshift shower.
How much we pay for the house, Steve?
62.
We're not hurt on the house.
Yeah, but we almost up to that. What y'all with the windows and the ramp and the air conditioning and the repairing of the floors. And we ain't gonna be far from that again.
Because the handicap ramp is because they do have walk-in folks like come in and get their blood pressure checked or stuff like that. So it's a ADA requirement.
$10,000 on the window. I'm telling you, that's the replacement. That's getting replacement windows and not tearing out the brick, messing with the.
Correct.
Yeah, so the windows by themselves gonna cost, right at $5,000-$6,000 just for the window for 21.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at probably about $250 to $300 a window. That's just the window cost. And that don't include the labor and the trimming on the inside and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know what kind of budget we got for that.
We can spend what we
We're
want.
making this up as we go.
My thing is a metal building for the same square footage. Can you fit it out level of the ground new versus? And I know you say we don't have to do the roof now, but as a roof a 5-year deal, I'd like to put that in the middle.
Yeah, and I think that's what I heard. You need to plan on doing the roof in probably 5 years.
I'd still like that in the number just to see, because we've got land in Unadilla
Oh, we do.
behind UPS.
So what you're saying is, let's get a cost estimate of this and do a comparison to get this, and then get a cost on the other building, and we put them side by side and say, if we do all this at a $60,000 building that's basis that is
They're gonna almost run the same thing.
1950, are we going to end up with something brand new? And what are we doing here when someone else could have this blessing on their own?
Well, why did we buy the building and we're not gonna?
See, a person moving into this house would not have to spend all this money.
Got it.
I thought this was like EMS's residence. I didn't take into account this ADA and
It becomes under the commercial.
I didn't know. I thought we were either government or still residential. But
And when is this that issue first came up? Just now?
What?
Or when we went to the building inspector? When is it we realized we were going to do ADA? From the beginning?
What is now?
Just now.
The ramp. What is now? Do they have the ramp?
They don't have a ramp where they are now.
Neither place.
I don't think we have to just hit high off the ground.
Most of the time, when they've got somebody walk in, they walk them to the ambulance.
Yeah.
But that's not what the.
Well,
Financially, selling this as a residential house, we're in good shape. You could even make money, probably. But I'd like to get a full side by side of everything this house is gonna need in the next 5 years versus pricing out a 1,100, 1,500 square foot metal building finished out to spec. And is that comparable? Is it $5,000 more for the new building and we got a 1950s, 60s house? Or before we start sinking money into,
What's the square footage on that?
20, just over 2,000, I think.
See, I don't think you need all that square footage. And
Well, that house is so chopped up.
right, I'm just saying that for
But if you got trusses on it, you can tear every wall out in the house and just the exterior wall would be there. And you can still make everything. I don't know that much about the metal part, but if you're looking at what the commercial rate for building a commercial building is now, you know, come on under $160 or $70 a square foot. If you build one the same size that, you can do the math when you multiply it out. You know, that's about how much a new commercial building going.
How much you say per square foot?
On a commercial, anywhere between 160 70. That's on the low side. The one will want $200 a square foot.
is that stick built? That's a stick built.
Yeah. That's about what they got. That's about what the going price on commercial building now.
I had figured, you know, one of the metal buildings like a fire station that we've got, you for 1,500 square foot, you're probably gonna look around 40 to 50,000 just on the building.
You talking about this on the walls and
the walls and the roof
and
the
floor.
Well, the one I told you, the one Daddy built recently up there in Unadilla. What square footage? Did you go measure that square footage?
No.
He built a 40 by 80. Daddy put up a 40 by 80. No electricity, no HVAC, but that's standing up on concrete was 75,000.
2,800 square feet.
That building out,
butt naked though.
huh?
I said that butt naked, right?
That's no wiring, but that's concrete. And that building, the one out by the road, it was right at 75,000.
So you got that in half.
But that's 3,300 square foot too, though.
Yeah, that's 3,200 square feet.
So you want
So you
some
can
more
probably do
information
it.
before we continue the discussion, so we can have something to compare apples and oranges to.
I'd like the price of what it'd take to do that house right. And I think right is all the windows, the roof, the bathrooms, the way they want it. I heard what they needed a place for their workout equipment.
Yeah, they got a big room full of exercise equipment that you'd have to put in 2 different rooms of that house.
Okay. So whatever that number is, and then price out the other option of putting it on the land we already have.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that is, you know, need to compare apples to apples, you know, and stuff.
But I do know where they're at now. I'm throwing this out here while I'm here. It has gotten a lot worse.
Yeah, but
They called me the other day. I've got to figure something out on the entrance going in.
well, then let me ask you too. We on that topic that if we're gonna do that, and you mentioned about selling, you know, they cut back on some of the costs. You know, we can put up a metal building that would fit the EMS. Selling that building right there.
Selling that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
if we go the other route, yeah, we get rid of
right,
that.
yeah, right.
If you sell it and you make say you sold it and you cleared $75,000, you've got a little bit of profit to head toward the other building.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get a loss, you're
Right.
at the same place you were.
We haven't put any in this other
Right.
than a termite inspection, right?
Termite inspection and then their labor just cleaning it up, making it look lots better.
We had 3 knuckle boom trucks full of debris that we cut around the house.
All right, so the motion is to table it, or just the suggestion is to table it and come back to it in 2 weeks or 4 weeks.
Give them 2 weeks to come. If I think the EMS, I think we need to move, but you could put up, if we go to the metal building, you can put that up just as quick as you're gonna do all the work that's gonna be done in here, so we're not extending time.
Glenn said it would take 8 to 9 months to do all the work in that house. That's what he told me.
I think we got all we need to move forward.
That ground must be left already out there where you talking about putting in.
What's that?
The ground must be left already.
For the most part.
The sheriff's department has their, mobile homes
You
out
have to
there.
move that first.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you wouldn't? It's big enough?
Yeah,
It's
there's
big.
plenty of room out there.
Already in a fenced in area.
But he did mention a while back about possibly doing away with the mobile home. But that's up to them.
All right, well, I think we understand what y'all want, so we'll try to get some information up for that by the next meeting. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Item number 13, the engineer for the city of Pinehurst is advertising for proposals for the installation of a new sewage grinder in front of the Justice Center. This is a project we talked about 10 months ago. The engineer's finally getting around to.
Did we approve this?
Mhm.
Did we?
Yeah, y'all voted to fund it.
I thought we had a price then.
We had an estimated price then, but they had to go through the bid process. And why it's taking 10 months, I don't know. So, but the bid opening will be scheduled for
Yeah.
for 3:00 p.m. on April 20th at Pinehurst City Hall. So I just want to keep y'all informed on that. Okay, is Sheriff Peavy here? Not yet. Sheriff Peavy was supposed to be here for our executive session.
He's not here.
Okay, ask him to come on in. That's all the items I have, Mr. Chairman, other than an executive session to talk to Sheriff Peavy about a personnel matter and a potential real estate matter.
Now what about the proclamation? Did we?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. What about the basket? What did they reach? What was their what?
But they went to the Elite Eight, right? When the Elite Eight.
Who should I contact to get the
Monte,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sanders?
And they were region champ too.
Yes.
Oh, and Fullington's girls.
Well, on that Fullerton
they went
girls
runner-up
basketball team
state.
made it to the state final.
Really?
They were runner-up at state. They lost in the final game.
So we'll get the information.
You made me trigger my mind. I didn't go to the game, but you made me think about it.
So we'll contact both of them, get the information, and have a proclamation for y'all to do at the next meeting.
Okay. And like I just thought about one other thing I was intending. That road out there where the tunnel is. What's the name of that road? That y'all got the right of way y'all talked to Bob about it.
Somerville Road.
Okay. Now, so how many more? He don't disappear.
He must have known what you was going to ask. That's it.
Okay.
I don't know. But on that, so we'll get those two proclamations. Then I'd like to request an executive session, like I asked, to go talk about a personnel matter and a real estate matter with Sheriff Peavy.
I make a motion we go into executive session for personnel and potential real estate.
I second.
It has been motion and second. All in favor by the show of hands. That motion carries. All right. Everybody going to have to
Oh, Scotty, you stick around, Scotty.
Well, I don't know if you want me to go out.
No, you come on. We'll talk about what you want to talk about with Sheriff first, and then we'll dismiss you.
Okay.
All right, thank y'all. Sheriff, you can come on up, and Scotty, you can come on up.
All right.
Okay, come on, easy.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Randall, we're going into executive session. We're going to have to ask you to step out.
Good morning. Hey, Sheriff. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
All right, how you?
I think still Monday.
Oh, okay. Scotty's gonna sit in and talk about the building, then we're gonna ask him to step out.
Did you cut it off?
Thank you.
You made us some money? You gonna spend some money?
This conference will now be recorded.
He went on back to the office. Please.
He left a note. Said 132-1.
No doubt.
All right, we back
I
live.
make a motion that we approve the minutes of executive session as read in executive session.
I second.
That has been motion and second. All in favor by the show of hands. And that is unanimous. We're back in regular section now.
Do we have anything?
That's
You-
Nothing need to take action on.
okay.
Well, I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that
I sure hate to end this meeting. Oh,
you
go on.
Oh.
I was just joking.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second.
It has been motion and second. All in favor, please stand and live.
And I